这个世界小组上面国际这些都是幸福一样。不接近的东西，跟谁都傻子。它是建一个投票，大家第一在居中哈。他还讲到他最近跟别胜市长恋爱策略，他吸喝酒。他说他自己他就是跟那个丈夫现在回来有一段时间变成现在是单身汉。单身汉，很年轻、很漂亮的，很漂亮的男生，单身汉。
Saan order ka nyo? Palarot po. Tuloy mo kasi bukas wala ba? Malalaman.
Good morning, gentlemen and ladies of the media. Maraming salamat po sa inyong presensya ngayong umaga. At today is March 4. 5 Profession Month.
4 times 4 as of 44. 4 plus 4 as of 44.
Maliban sa 5 Profession Month yun, National Women's Month din pala ngayong araw na ito. Ngayon po ito, kaya dapat alalahanin natin ang ating mga mahal na mga babae sa buhay. Mula sa ating mga nanay, sa ating mga one and only wives and their following. Good morning po. Sa kanan po ng ating chairman, si Mike Abe of DCAB. Ako rin po si Rolly Gonzalo na Ilan TV DWIC at ako po yung manubuno sa Liga ng mga broadcasters sa Pilipinas. Thank you for joining us dito sa ating regular na broadcasters forum. Pinabagit ko yung Liga because bago si Kong nag-guest natin ngayong umaga so that malaman niya that this forum is produced by the Liga ng mga broadcasters sa Pilipinas, a separate group of broadcasters from the regional kapisanan ng mga broadcasters sa Pilipinas. Ito ginagawa namin yung araw ko ng Merkules at thank you sa araw ng pagkakataon kayo yung nakadalaw dito sa aming forum. Okay? Dito naman na ladies, tatlo yung aming nakaschedule, tatlo yung nakaschedule ng bisita ngayong umaga. Si Congressman Lito Chen sa Buhay Party List. Ewan ko kung makakarating. Pero umuwi naman siya nung kahapon. At natin din, I understand, si Director James Jimenez of the Commission on Elections. But right now, ating po nandito na bisita ay si Congressman Tupay Loong of the First District of the province of Sulu. At alam niyo na, ang unang-unang iikutan ng ating talakay ngayong umaga ay ang Bangsa Moro basic law na of course concerned din na sa probinsya. At without much ado, papatid natin si Congressman sa ating mga kasama dito sa Liga, sa ating broadcasters forum. Kong, magandang umaga sa inyo at siguro po pwede rin kayo bumati kasi naka-naipas live tayo sa KITV na ipapalabas ng ating mga kaibigan si Kit at saka si Camilo worldwide. Good morning po. Magandang umaga.
Good morning sa inyo lahat at magpapasalamat sa inyo na napagsugyan niyo ako ng pagkakataon at I'm prepared to answer any question lalo na tungkol sa PCL upang mapailawanan natin para maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan sa ating bansa.
Alright, bibigyan na tayo baga. Yung iba nagsasabi na yung BBL hindi na patay kundi nakalibing na. Yung iba, nasa ICU pa, no? At alam mo naman, paray-paray ang pakikiusap sa inyo ng ating presidente na kumari ay may masa on time ang BBL at pagkamakalikan ng bagong Bangsa Moro government. At alam po siya ito sa mga legacy na gusto maiwanan. Ipangulo na Aquino sa pagtatapos na kanyang termino. Bilang kinagawan ko na sulong. Ano bang personal pananaw nyo nito at ano bang status ng BBL ngayon sa Kongreso? Kung maihabol ba ito? Can we have your thoughts?
Alam po ninyo, itong BBL sa aming paniniwala, Bangsa Moro, this is an instrument of peace. Now, hindi pwede natin ililibing ang peace. At hindi natin pwede ilagay sa ICU. Because we are talking about peace. Peace is an aspiration of each and every one of us, Filipinos, not just the Bangsa Moro, but the whole country. Now, ang tanong kung may pakasabay ito o hindi, I think it is now within the discretion of the House of Representatives. Now, as a member of the House of Representatives, I am fully aware that we are mandated by our fundamental law of the land to perform our sworn duties and responsibilities as a representative. Therefore, in my own personal opinion, there is no other better alternative for us to look into this seriously. If this is really beneficial to the interest of our people, to the security of the Republic of the Philippines, if we cannot look for another better alternative, I think we have to consider the passage of this Bangsa Moro
Kung, di ba naman nabasa ninyo yung sulat ni MILF Chairman Angas Moran, yung kopya na kay Congressman Rufus Rodriguez? Kasi yun yung sinasabi ng Board of Contention ngayon. Kasi mukhang gusto ng MILF, yung lahat na dito sa draft ay hindi ko pwedeng paguhin. Kung pwedeng magdagdag ng bago, pero dapat ikagaganda ng
BBL.
BBL. Hindi yung mababago yung mga provisions ngayon doon na kagaya ng binabanggit ng maraming mga kongresista na mga unconstitutional. Napasadahan nyo na ba kung yung draft? Wala pa kayo nakita na talagang violating of the Constitution?
Kung nasa lahat, sasagutin ko muna yung sulat ni Mura. Address to the Chairman of the Committee.
Yes.
Alam po natin, we are negotiating with the Moro National Liberation Front, who is a revolutionary movement. MILF. Now, they are operating on the ground. They never respect fundamental law of the land. Otherwise, they should not go to the underground movement if they respect the Constitution. However, because of the peace regime, the President Aquino, we invited them to come down and sit down in the round table to discuss about peace to Bangsamoro. So we in Congress, we are guided by the two fundamental guidance, the constitutions, number one, number two is the comprehensive agreement. Now, this proposed draft from Bangsamoro Basic Law, this is well studied by highly legal luminaries composed of 15 people and also reviewed by the legal council of Malacanang, and it was submitted to Congress. Now, we in Congress, what we did now in the ad hoc committee, we are now scrutinizing this bill, section by section, article by article, line by line. Now, those provisions of the proposed draft bill that seem to be unconstitutional, we are going to reconcile the comprehensive agreement and the constitution to make sure that no one among the two guidelines will be disregarded. The comprehensive agreement should always conform with the constitution. Now, regarding the letter of Chairman Moral, hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi na pwedeng baguhin because they are fully aware that the House of Representatives will never pass a law that will contradict the fundamental law nila. So, sa ngayon, ang ginagawa namin, lahat ng provision, pinag-aaralan na namin, lahat ng hindi pwede ay binabago namin. So, we are also trying to explain to our brothers in the Bangsamoro Islamic Protection Front na pag mayroon kaming babaguhin dito, this will be for the improvement of the Bangsamoro Basic Law.
Okay, question sa gentleman. Archie.
Check.
Meron pa ba yung panahon, bagong salulat tanong ni Archie, meron po ba kayo sapat na panahon? Kasi dadaan pa sa plebisito yan. Di ba?
Ang aking sagot tungkol sa tanong na yan, wala rin po mayroon ba? Because pinag-usapan na namin sa Kongreso, hopefully we can pass this by June, anytime June. So we still have time.
Okay, let's also announce the arrival of Corpo Mayor. Ewan ko babalik ko sa Manila. Congressman Lito Atienza of the Buhay Catalyst. Isa rin po sa mga may ingay na boses sa Kongreso patungkol sa Bangsamoro Basic Law. Kasama si Congressman Tupay Longhier. At tama-tama, tuloy na natin ang ating diskusyon.
Legitimate minority.
Mga minority ba? Tumawag si Mrs. So, sinasabi ni Congressman Tupay Longhier, meron pa sapat na panahon para may pasa ang Bangsamoro Basic Law. Total, kasimulan na namin natin yung Bangsamoro Basic Law. At ang question ko kay kung Tupay Longhier bagong tanong ni Archie is kung kagaya ninyo, meron din ba siya nakita mga violations sa konstitusyon? Itong ating Bangsamoro Basic Law. Go! Yan. Totoo na.
Pakitanggal mo na nga ito.
Nasa mo kayo video audio na kasi
Kaya po si hanap natin ay solusyon na napakatagal ng problema sa Mindanao. Kaya po mga gabyado ang ating mga dyan. Kaya kung ako yung mayor, alam na nag-aako ang interes ng Manila. Ngayon po ang usman ako, unang panukalan ng gusto, buo ng Muslim Cultural and Trade Center. Kaya, Kasama ko sa committee ni Chairman Loo. Kaya malamang matuloy ito. Dahil sa paniniwala ko, kailangan bigyan natin ng special na pagkakataon at atensyon at pagbabago ating pakikitungo na alaga sa ating mga kapatid na Muslim. Tanggapin natin ang katotohanan, once upon a time, we were all a Muslim nation. Yan ang dapat natin pasimula. We have to realize where we are all coming from. So that we will know where to go. Kailangan alam natin kung saan tayo nanggaling. Having said that, ngayon meron ang pagkakataon dito sa batas nito. Ang hinihingi lamang po ng Unico at sa po na aking mga samahan. Check ang usapan natin mabuti. Hindi pwede kung ano ang ginawa ng Peace Panel ay pipilit na lamang po sa amin. Pagkat kung meron po naman talagang lehitimong kailangan baguhin natin para maging epektibo po ito, maging pangmatagalan, permanenteng pagbabago. Hindi yung questionable sa Supreme Court tapos ma-overrule. Illegal, constitutional, mawawala ng visa, lahat itong ating pagsisikap na ito. And we are definitely putting the blame on the Peace Panel for having provided certain conditions which are not acceptable to the present Constitution. And we are positive na nagkukonsulta din po naman kami sa mga constitutionalists, Bill Consa in particular. And lahat po sila nagkakaisa na meron talagang mga provision that will be questioned in the Supreme Court and will surely lose. So bakit di po natin gawing sa level namin, ayusin na namin. Hinihingi po namin sa liderato ng Kongreso. Huwag niyo ipilit yan. Pag-usapan natin, lumahin natin, at lagyan natin ng anumang pagbabago na sa gayon, maging tunay na solusyon at hindi sanhi ng hindi pagkakaintindihan. Dahil pag hindi po natuloy, kasahan na po ng kabila, magkakaroon po talaga ng samahan ng loob. Ayaw natin.
Magkabila muna. Tipray mo muna yung kape mo, Congressman. At yung mga questions muna kay Congressman Dubai at Chief.
Yeah, relative doon sa sinabi ni
Congressman
Atienza na dapat himay-may ang bawat para provision. Ang apprehensions lang dito ay ano ang mangyayari doon sa ARMM samantalang hindi pa ito pinapasang kami o pinawawalang visa kaugnay doon sa pinasok na peace negotiation agreement. Dahil ito yung nakikita ng ilang legal luminaries na magiging hadlang sa proseso ng pagsasapasa ng BBM.
So yung transition, yung proseso ng transition?
Kasi yung problema sa ARMM, baka lumaki na naman. Pero dapat yung legalidad ito, matapos na ang existence nila para mapalitan itong BBM.
Alam niyo, pagbabasahin natin lahat ng nakalagay sa salitang batas. Ang sinasabi ng salitang batas of 1987, that there shall be an autonomous region in the Philippines.
Yes.
Now, this is what we are doing now, and it is demanding the Constitution. Now, regarding the existence of the Bangsa Moro, ang ginagawa natin ngayon, example situation, we don't want to totally abolish. As far as we don't want to totally abolish. If we are going to abolish this totally, the Moro National Liberation Front will disagree. Why? Because this ARMM is the product of the instinct in the revolution. So ngayon, ang iniisip natin, especially the Samur representation, wag na natin i-subject pa for ratification yung core territory because yung area, yung 5 provinces, because they already decided 2 times already through design. What is to be submitted for referendum is the system of governance because we are now going to change the present system of governance to parliamentary system of governance. So, ibig sabihin, magkakaroon tayo ng parang ito system of government in one sovereign country like China and Hong Kong. So yun ang naisip ng mga Moro Islamic Liberation Front that will work positively in response to the aspiration of the Bangsamoro.
So that would be the deficit of the entire voting population in the country.
So that is subject for ratification by the entire people of the so-called core area. My position is the one that will be submitted to the plebiscite is only the system of governance, because we are going to change the structure of governance from the present system to another system.
Okay. Mababatiin ko muna si Director Jen Jimenez. Mababatiin muna natin si Director Jen Jimenez ng Commission on Elections, ang pinaka-importante ng ahensya mula 2016 elections.
Magandang umaga po. Okay.
Meron ba tayong bago ngayon? Ano bago yun, Direk? Yung latest na kay Byron sa Puerto Princesa, yung pinunod niya yung ano ba yun? Order of the Comelec ba yun?
Well, actually, at this point po, no, tinitignan natin ng Comelec ang sitwasyon ngayon. Kasi kung nakita niyo na ba yung video,
Nanood pa si Dario?
Oh, yung hindi naman din masyadong malinaw from the pictures and from the video kung ano exactly yung pinunit niya. No, so, bago tayo bago kami mag-posting, na alam muna namin, humihingi kami na report dun sa aming election officer. So, hindi pa yun nagagawa, but as soon as we get more clarity on the issue, then we'll deal with it.
Pero yung issue na kawalan ng pera para sa mga recall elections?
Wala na po yun, hindi na po issue yun. Kasi nung sa nakaraang budget na round ng budget, binigyan na po kami ng parang yung tinatawag nilang parang bahay, no? Kasi bago yung draft ruling, basically hindi ka pwede mag-augment unless merong item sa budget. So, kung merong item sa budget, kahit gaano kaliit, pwede mong i-augment yun. So, ganun ang ginawa nila, no? Naglagay sila ng item sa budget para sa recall. So, bahala na kami ngayon mag-augment doon from our savings usually.
Okay, yun naman yung questions. Si Congressman Lito Atienza, Congressman Tumay Loong, and of course, Director Jen Jimenez. Chairman Mike Abel.
Thank you. Alright, thank you, Mr. President. Siguro doon muna sa dalawang congressman kasi yung napaka-controversial. Well, meron deadline. Hindi ko alam kung bakit parang minamadali. So, diba, ang issue ng kapayapaan, dapat dahan-dahan yan para hindi natasagasaan yung iba. Pero may deadline after na makipag-meeting sa Malacanang yung ilan congressman. 285 yata ang congressman ngayon, bakit 25 lang kinausap? Ang tatapang ng 25 congressman before na makipag-usap sa Malacanang. After na makipag-usap sa Malacanang, madaling araw pa lang, may press release na, okay lang BBM. Ganon. So kami mo sa media, hirap kami magpaliwanag sa issue nila sa totoo lang. Dahil buhay na kataya. Kayo po ang mga congressman na hahawak ng pagsusuri dito. Nasa inyo ang tunay na kapayapaan. At paano po ang dating itong deadline na ito?
Nasagutin ko na po.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ako po sumusunod sa sinabi niyo. Hindi tama ang nangyayari. Kapag mangyayari, pagka binigyan ng timeline, pressure, at railroading yung paggawa ng batas. Ako'y talagang kontra sa railroading at anong batas. Ilalo na itong batas na ito, sapagkat ito'y napakaselan. As I've said, hindi tayo pwede magkamali ito. Dahil hahandong tayo, magpiproblema. So we have to be very careful. Ang aming apela kay Pangulong Aquino, gumamit ng anumang pressure, kaso tinawag sa mga leader ng partido, maglabas, sabi mo nga, iba na tono nila lahat. At hindi naman ang aming pakiusap na yung mga issue na patingin natin, magiging unconstitutional sa mata ng Korte Suprema. Ayusin na natin ito labang aking kaibigan, kaya ang Congressman Loong, sa mga masipag natin yan ng Kongreso ito. Sabi nga niya, kakailanganin ng plebisito yung isang provision na napakalaga. Bagong sistema ng pamamahala sa isang lugar na hindi angkop sa provision ng batas. Sabi niya, kailangan ng plebisito. Tama yun. Pero hindi po ako naniniwala na ang plebisito kailangan doon lang gawin sa mga taong makikinabang. Pagka babaguhin natin ang anumang profesyon ng saligang batas, since we only have one constitution, kailangan tanongin ang buong bansa. From Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, para po mabago yung ating profesyon na yun, na presidential tayo. gagawa tayo ng isang local parliamentary system, hindi pwedeng doon lamang tatanungin doon. We have to protect only one constitution for the whole nation. So we have to ask everyone. That's just an example of what we are questioning in the preparation of this draft law. And as far as mentioned by our good friend Mike, huwag namang madaliin niya, huwag gumamit ng anumang insentibo, pressure, anumang elemento, not even the influence of the President. Let the Congress work on its own pace para lahat ng mga issue ito yung maiayos natin at dumaan sa tamang proseso at makabuo tayo ng tamang batas na pakikinabangan ng mga Muslim at ang buong bansa.
Thank you. Thank you, Congressman. Deadline.
Yung itong tanong ninyo na huwag madali, alam po ninyo, this problem is already 43 years. Wow, almost half century. Now, we started talking peace in 1976 when President Marcos came in the Marcos victory to ask for the intervention of the Islamic world. Now, the Islamic world, the Organization of Islamic Conference, talked to us, Muslim, because I am one of those who opposed martial law in 1972. Now, Muslim world advised Muslims in this country not to secede because the original intention of this rebellion is for the Muslims to get out of this country. But because of the intervention of our brother Muslim in the Middle East, with the formation of the so-called quadripartite ministerial commission composed of Saudi Arabia, Libya, Senegal, and Somalia, we are just asked by our brother Muslim in the Middle East to accept autonomy instead of independence. So we agreed. And now, the 1976 Tripoli Agreement was signed, but it was not implemented by the government. Here comes another agreement in 1996 Peace Final Agreement. The first agreement, it gives birth to the 64 organic law. And then the Peace Final Agreement in 1996, it gives again birth to the enactment of 1954. That is why there are 5 provinces and 1 city now that comprise the autonomous region. If you look at the provision, the entire provision of the 1954, there are several provisions was not implemented by the government. So the Moro National Liberation Front feel that they are being betrayed by the government. That is why the Bangsamoro Islamic Liberation Front organized another front to continue the armed struggle. Now this IMF negotiation with the government, it takes 17 years before this BPL, before this comprehensive agreement was signed. So 17 years negotiation, it's not a joke. Therefore, we are not hurrying it up. Now, the President invited the members of Congress, chairman of all committees in Congress. I think we are around 30. I was around. But the main intention of the President is this. I would like to clarify that. The main intention of the President is not pressurizing us. Instead, they ask us, member of Congress, to present better alternative to achieve peace in this country than the Bangsamoro Basic Law. So no one among us in Congress present during that meeting can present better alternative than BPL. So this number of education stood up, and I appreciate the President for asking us to present better alternative. I told the President this. I said, Mr. President, you are the father of this country. We respect you as our President. Now you are now asking us to present better alternative to replace BPL in exchange for peace. I said, to the best of my ability, I cannot think of any better alternative except to support you for your peace initiative to stabilize peace in this country. So therefore, I said, Mr. President, we demand some more people because we are the beneficiary of this peace initiative. We are all behind you all the way. So that was the intention of the President in inviting Congress. But with due respect to my good friend, Congressman Insa, the President did not pressurize us.
Walang implied pressure?
Walang implied pressure. He said what the President, what I asked the President, I said, Mr. President, there are several calls from our constituents, from the 5 provinces, asking us what is the status of this BBL. We don't know what to tell them now that we are here, you are the citizens of the country. Tell us now what to tell our people. So this is what the President told me. Sabi niya, tell our people that we will push through with them and this BBL should push through. That was the President told us.
Okay.
Question.
I react to that.
Reaction muna, then...
Hindi naman kailangan may ibibigay para magkaroon ng pressure. Hindi pa tinawag silang lahat. Pressure na yun.
Yes.
Parang hindi kami tinawag. At kung hihingi siya ng alternatibo, marami kami bibigay. Ang hirap, tinawag lang niya yung mga general sa floor ng Kongreso. Kami mga privado, mga nabibilang sa hindi po sinali sa usapan. At marami po tayong alternatibo ba? At hindi ko po ginawa ni President at hindi po tama na ito. I believe there are more patriotic Filipinos, especially the constitutionalists, who love the country even more. I don't believe the best Filipinos we have are Ferrer and Deles. No. I believe there are better Filipinos who could have handled the job better. So all we're asking for is to be listened to. Let the public participate and don't railroad this particular legislation.
Follow up lang, at least ganda lang. Dahil doon sa nangyari yan, Congressman, sabi mo nga, bakit nakaunti yung tinawag? Ano ibig sabihin nito? Lalo magiging mas mahirap approval nito because nagalit itong congressman or lalo silang magiging neutral sa issue nito?
Hindi naman, wala nang epekto yun sa posisyon at iniisip, prinsipyo na bawat miyembro. Ang amin lamang pinupunay, pagkatapos na sa Malacanang, nagpulong na mga partido. Nagpulong na, nagpulong, at meron silang desisyon. Isa lamang ang timeline na kanilang kaingalali. Isa ngayon ang kanilang direksyon. Anong tawag doon? Yung sasabi namin, huwag maglagay ng pressure ng Malacanang. Dahil pag pumasok ang Malacanang sa usapan, iba na ang pag-uusapan. At iba na ang frame of mind ng mga miyembro na may struktura. Let's respect the integrity and the sovereignty of the Congress. Hindi yung katawagin tayo sa Malacanang, bibigyan whatever, kung gusto pa, papangaling tayo. Pero masasagot mo. Kami sana yung ibita, binasagot ko.
Okay. Kate.
Nung sinabi ninyo na let's inform our people, ibig po sabihin nun yung Bangsamoro people, ano? Bangsamoro people, hindi yung mga leader lang. Now, sinabi mo rin na BBL can bring peace to Mindanao. How?
I think we are all aware of what is the prevailing situation now. There is no other similar situation in Luzon and Visayas than in Mindanao. Ang nagkakaroon ng hira lagi, halos araw-araw na ngayon is Mindanao. If we can stop the rebellion in Mindanao, that will greatly contribute to the peace and stability of the peace in the whole country. Yun ang ibig sabihin. Mayroon ng gulo sa Luzon at Visayas, pero hindi kagaya ng gulo sa amin sa Mindanao.
So, kumbaga, theory lamang yun, na pag may BBL na, lahat ng Abu Sayyaf, BIFF, sasaludo na sa MILF, at hindi na sila magugulo. That's a theory, ano? Ngayon, tanong ko, dito ba sa kasalukuyang set-up, hindi po ba tamang sabihin na kung may PDAP ang lahat ng distrito, ang ARMM na mga kongresista meron din. Kung may mga IRA, ang lahat ng local government, meron din ang mga taga-ARMM. Kung ano nakasaad sa Bill of Rights, na konstitusyon ng bawat Pilipino, yun din ang karapatan ng bawat Muslim. In fact, lamang pa nga mga Muslim, unang-unang ARMM ng panahon lalo na ni Gloria, binuhusan ng pera yan eh. Ngunit walang improvement. Pangalawang lamang ng mga Moro, sa aming mga non-Muslim, pwede kayo mag-asawa ng 4 eh. Kami isa lang, dalawa lang, kulong na. So ano, saan kayo inapi? Saan kayo banda inapi? I mean, ang mga Muslim ha?
Yun ang akala natin. Yun ang akala ng mga kapatid namin sa Luzon at Visayas. Na marami kaming binibigay na extraordinary treatment ng gobyerno. Hindi, wala ang binibigay sa amin eh. Destruction to lives and property ang nangyayari sa amin eh. Hindi pira eh. Of course, there is local government unit. There is an automatic appropriation dyan sa kanila. Pero, yung international allotment ng mga local government, kung may pira ganyan, hindi sapat doon lang sa ipag-alaga mo sa mga tao na displaced sa kanilang lugar. So, ano ang i-address mo sa development? At ano ang i-address mo sa development kung araw-gabi ang naririnig mo mortal artillery fire? So, ngayon, don't expect anything that will happen. Ang nangaraamin pakiusap sa inyo lahat, dapat naman intindihin, 43 years na itong gera na ito. This is a man-made calamity. Even in Yolanda, for only how many days, how many people sacrificed? Until now, hindi natin masobrang problema. In Zamboanga City, is only 19 days calamity, man-made calamity, when Miss Suarez men into Zamboanga City. Ngayon, libo-libo yung mga tao natin na mamatay sa sakit at gutom. Hindi natin alam yan sa buong bansa. Kaya kami, hindi na kami pwedeng pagsabihan kung ano ang nararamdaman namin sapagkat kami ang directly victim of this situation.
Kung isa specific question, ano ha? Kasi pag sinabi natin, madalas namin narinig yan eh, aping-api ang mga Muslim. Kaya ngayon, dito sa BBL, kailangan mas malaki ang share nila doon sa kabuuan. Ano? Ngayon, ang tanong ko sa inyo. Meron ba kayong mga specific project proposals para sa ikauunlad ng Muslim Mindanao na inihain sa Kongreso na binaliwala? At ano-ano ang mga ito?
Eh, alam mo, every year, no? Every year, there is always a comprehensive program of development to be submitted to the Committee on Appropriation. Now, ngayon, sometimes mabigyan ng funding, sometimes hindi naman. Sapagkat hindi naman lahat ng hihingin mo may bibigay because the authority of the House of Representatives, the Committee of Appropriation, kahit kumain ka ng ganitong daming pira, gusto mo i-address ang kalsada, gusto mo i-address ang bridge, gusto mo i-address ang water supply, irrigation, etc. Hindi naman may bibigay lahat ng gobyerno.
So yung mga inaprubahan, fully implemented ba Congress? My last question. Yung mga na inaprubahan na project para sa ARMN, can you definitely say that fully implemented?
Definitely, you can go now. In fairness to Governor Pudiba naman, there is now semblance of development. Why? Because there is semblance of peace already. Halina't because of this recent development na nagkaroon na naman ulit tayo ng gera. Right now, it is the regional government who take care of all the displaced people now as a result of this military.
Under Governor Ataman?
Yes.
So there's no need to approve BBL kung okay naman pala.
Hindi. Alam mo, pag sinabi mong ganyan, ano bang alternative natin? Ang gusto mo?
Bakit tinutukoy mo yung panahon ni Miss Wari? Kasi magbibigay ng rason si
Thank you, Kong. Thank you.
I join the very fair, intelligent discourse.
Relax.
Palagay ko pala-palawan mo ang gusto natin. Gusto natin magpapera. And it's about time, bigyan natin ng mas higit na paraan ang development ng Mindanao. No doubt, yung tanong ni Kate na yun. Ano ba pagkukulang? Malaki. Maliit pa akong bata, naririnig ko na yung pangako sa Mindanao eh. Iba pa nga sistema natin ng araw. By law and by practice, merong mga representasyon ang Mindanao. Kung maalala nyo, parang meron tayong senador na Mindanao. Kaya lang dalawang political parties. Pinitiyak nila may representasyon at least dalawa, isa, na nagagaling sa Mindanao. Pero matagal na nakalimutan yan eh. Matagal na hindi napansin. Ngayon lamang babahagyan nabubuhay uli yung interes at tulong sa Mindanao. Pero ang aming paniniwala, the Constitution provides already for an ARMM. The Constitution mandates local autonomy. The Constitution mandates fiscal autonomy. Hindi lamang natin tinutupad. Yun ang problema. Pangako, itinapako. Pati ang saligang batas hindi sinusunod. Yung pananalapi ng area ng Muslim Mindanao, hindi po na ibibigay yan. Yung bahagi nila sa FAT, hindi naman binibigay. Yung bahagi sa mga kinikita mo, hindi rin naman binibigay. The problem is, we have not really fully implemented the Constitution up to now. In fact, all the regions suffer from this malpractice. Kung may nagkukulang ang mga pangulong nagdadaan sa panahon. Hindi pinatutupad ang layunin ng saligang batas. Kung titignan po nyo ang saligang batas, the state must ensure local autonomy. Eh kung binigyan natin ng local autonomy talaga, tunay na autonomy ang ARMM as mandated by the law, palagay ko hindi tayo nandito kayo na nagdidebate tayo sa BBL na ginawa at binuo. Tingin ko po, may people who did not even consult those who know the problem. Kinonsulta ba nila si dating Pangulong Ramos, who was successful in handling the problem? Kinonsulta ba nila yung dating Pangulong Gloria Arroyo? Kinonsulta ba nila si Pangulong Herrat? Wala eh! We relied on, sabi nga nila, the two leading ladies of the show. Kung ano ang inisip nila, tinanggap naman ang ating Pangulo. This is where we are now. We want to assure the constitutionality of this draft law. Pag yun ay natiyak, wala po tayong pag-uusapan natin. Because tingin po namin, constitutionally infirm. Masakit.
Ito ba tayong congressional reporter dito, si Gio Rosondo?
Sir, yung justice for sub 44, posible daw makakuha yun dahil merong amnesty component yung peace agreement. So kahit kasuhan ibigay mo yung mga mayroon, at the end of the day, ma-amnesty rin sila. Kasi may blanket amnesty provision. Anong take niyo sa gano'n?
Hindi ko naniniwala rin sa mga sinasabi sa hindi makaya. The wrong person to ask.
Yung kalimutan, nandito si Director James Perez. Gusto niyo muna mag-react sa tanong ni Jill?
Alam mo, what I can tell you is this, no? Congressman Biason delivered to the speech last night. He mentioned in our engagement, I am in the case in the armed forces of the Philippines, and I am rebel at the time. So, he knows kung ilan ang namatay sa Dalo. Alam din namin kung ilan ang namatay sa amin. He mentioned about 150,000 people already died in this conflict. Ilan ang sundalo na namatay ng araw? Hindi natin nakakila. But, because they are duty bound to defend this country, national integrity and sovereignty, so they died in accordance with their sworn duties and responsibilities. Now, kami naman, although we are rebel at the time, but we are Filipinos. But is there any justice given to us, to our people who died? Mabuti pa yung mga sundalo, pag namatay sila, they are taken care by the government. But the innocent civilian who is collateral damage, there is no pension, there is no financial aid, scholarship, given to them. And we are supposed to respect the civilian population. We are here because of the civilian population. We are not just here to protect our soldiers, the interests of our soldiers. We are here to protect the people. And they are mandated by the Constitution to protect the rights and property of the people. Now, ngayon, when we decided to come down to the full below, Marcos issued general amnesty to us. Tama yun eh, because this is a rebellion problem. This is not an ordinary criminal problem. When you are in this revolution, this is the universally accepted principle. You are fighting for legitimate cause. This is being recognized by the entire world, not just by the Republic of the Philippines.
Okay.
So, dapat, so favor kayo na ma-amnesty yung mga pumatay sa sakpo.
Well, that is the discretion of the power in Malacanang. If they wanted to do it, take it away.
Break muna tayo. Congressman, gentlemen. Pumalik muna si SP.
Good morning.
Yes, over mo yung previous ito.
Update lang po. Gaano katotoo na 1 week na lang po na si Congressman Abesa ng Senior Citizens Party List.
Wala po kami ganang information. Abdisa, wala po kami ganang information. Ang sa pagkakalam po namin, hindi pa nare-resolve yung kanilang intramurals.
Intramurals sa partido.
Wala pa, away pa sila. Ay, tatanong ko lang, meron naman silang chairman?
Wala pa po chairman.
Well, kasi Mr. President, ang dami kasing walang position eh. Wala tayong community chairman, wala tayong commissioner, wala tayong chairman ng Civil Service Commission, wala tayong chairman ng COA. Eh, lahat OIC.
Wala tayong secretary ng DILG, wala tayong pangulong basa.
Uwi na!
Noong linggo lang, noong linggo, gusto yung taga-Bureau of Fire Protection, noong nalaman, wala rin pa lang bumbero, wala rin pa lang head ng bumbero. Sige pa lang bumbero, Bureau of Fire Protection.
Nasa ng Pangulo!
Baka kailangan natin ng presidente gano'n si Mindanao.
Lahat sila sumali sa beauty contest.
Mali pala yung nasa ng Pangulo, dapat pala nasa ng tayo lahat.
Okay.
Ang gobyerno natin.
Question.
Congressman Lo, di nyo kaya pwedeng bigyan natin ng diin yung atribo, yung mga dapat magkaisa yung mga kausog, yung kasi ang tingin ko sa akin lang po, parang hindi nagkakaisa ko kayo eh. Paano natin paano yung iba-ibang pananaw nyo, katulad kayo sa Mayo eh, paano yung araw? Kaya dapat, hindi kaya dapat pag-usapan po nila dito para sa hindi para sa ibang tribo nyo, alin o
in this BPM, we are now discussing this in executive proceeding. We are now studying information line by line. So, the sentiment of the eminent kung mawala yung kanilang pinagpaguran. So, what the Samoro Legislation did is I endorse an amendment that the element, the fruit of the sacrifice of the Moro National Liberation Front should be integrated into this proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law. And the transitory authority should be with the participation of the Moro National Liberation Front, not just the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. In that way, we can bring them together. So it is now with the discretion of Congress to finalize this proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law. Kasi pag pinasa mo ito, without the eminent, you are disuniting our people. That is why we in Congress, we are the right authority to bring them together through this Bangsamoro Basic Law. Yun ang ating ginawa dyan. So, all the provision, important provision in the Organic Act 1954 has to be integrated into the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law. Para naman, hindi mawala yung pinagpaguran ng Moro lang dito. Talking of Tausong, Maranao, Mindanao, the reason why the Bangsamoro decided to come up with this terminology, the so-called Bangsamoro, this is inclusive because if we will follow what is stated in the Constitution, Mindanao, that is exclusive retributive. So, ang muli namin, what about our brothers and sisters who are not Muslim now in India? What will happen to them? So, the Bangsamoro refers to all inhabitants of the proposed Bangsamoro area because somebody doesn't want to call territory. So, put it Bangsamoro area so that everybody is beneficial to the so-called Bangsamoro autonomous government.
Okay. Si Congressman Atienza, meron pong importante appointment kaya meron siyang hulihin muna bago siya malis.
Pwede ko masalamat sa forum na ito. Una-una, narinig natin si Congressman Lo. ito yung nire-respeto ko sa Kongreso, sa floor, she talks sense. Ito isang gabi, maganda na yung kabilang palitan. Kami nagkaroon ng palitan on the floor. Si Congressman Biaso, Congressman Lohong. Kapag alaman namin, dalawang tao ito. Isa militar, isa Muslim fighter, kasama si Congressman Lohong yun sa si Congressman Biaso militar at nagkabanggaan sila. So the viewpoints are very, very relevant and important what we are discussing. And we are listening. Okay, pag-salita yan doon, nakikinig ako. Una-una, piniro mo ba? Hindi ko alam, kayo pala BFF. That's forever. Joke yan. BIF in your place, sabi ko BFF. Kailangan dito, nag-uusap ang magkakapatid. Kailangan dito, nag-uusap dito, walang alitan.
Tama.
Dahil kailangan hinahanap natin pare-pareho eh. Kapayapaan. At sana pag-uwi naman ng sip-sip na pag ikaw ay hindi sumaayon dito at ikaw ay kumalaban at ikaw ay gusto mong baguhin ito, ay you are not for peace. Hindi tama yun. Hindi tama yun. Let us use the mind of the President and the members of his peace panel. We in Congress are all for peace. Wala po akong alam, isang yun na naghahanap ng gulo. Kundi kaayusan. And every Filipino deserves to have peace.
Pahabol lang po, pahabol lang.
Dahil kung hindi po tayo magkakaroon ng kapayapaan, hindi tayo uulat sa kanila. Pinagpala ang lupa na binigay sa atin ng Panginoon Diyos. Hindi natin pakikinabangan.
Wala po ba kayong balak na tumakbo ulit bilang mayor ng Manila?
Yung po hindi sumasabi sa isipan. Sa dami ng problema ngayon sa bansa, sa dami ng problema sa Manila, sa dami ng problema sa Kongreso, kung ano po yung ginagawa ko ngayon, gagalingan ko na lang. Pahala ng Panginoon Diyos kung kaya may assign dito.
Kasi ang dami problema ng Manila eh.
Bansa nga may problema, buong bansa nga, hindi Manila lang.
Thank you. Thank you, salamat. Sa Pilipinas. Everyone's naman on the forum, if you have time, you please join us. Alright? Balik tayo sa kay Congressman Dong at saka kay Director James Perez. Mr. Tony Arabo. Bumalik.
Ano gusto namin kasi may mga tumatawag sa amin, bakit daw hindi kinukonsider ng Congress na instead of BBM is federalism na lang sa Mindanao?
Duterte na tayo niya.
Secondly, bakit daw sinama ang Palawan doon sa BBM na Congressman?
Palawan. Well, Palawan is not declared as a territory. Palawan was just included in the regional agreement. But in the regional agreement is something for social project. It's the desire of the supreme will of the people that will be built. So when the plebiscite was conducted in the 10 provinces, Palawan is one of those provinces who doesn't want to go in. So hindi natin begin. That is why in this BBA now, Congress has no power to approve nor the Senate or the President. The final approval is the Senate of the people. Kaya, going back to that, our duties and responsibilities in the House of Representatives, hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit kumahaba ang debate dito eh. Our duties is just to make sure that this BBA will conform the Constitution. Now, of course, if you are talking to people who are rebel, they never take to the Constitution. That is why there is negotiation. If they are law-abiding citizens of the Republic, there will be no revolution. Now, we are talking to revolutionary movements. The Congress is talking to the revolutionary movement. So, they have their own position. Kaya po, nagkaroon ng negotiation. After 17 years of negotiation, they arrived at the final conclusion to have the so-called comprehensive agreement. So, ngayon, ang trabaho na lang namin sa Kongreso, we will study the comprehensive agreement and we will study the Constitution. If there's anything that will contradict the provisions of the comprehensive agreement, will contradict the provisions of the Constitution, we have to look for a certain language that will reconcile both guidance, the comprehensive agreement and the proposal. So I see no problem here, but there are some impression. No, this is what I would like to correct. I would like to announce to the whole country and the Philippine people. Hindi naman tama yung sinasabi na 75 billion pesos binibigay sa hindi tama yun. That is just an imagination of some sector in this country. Para, alam mo, pag sinabi na nung nagsisilos yung ibang region yun ang aking kailan kung bakit maging negative. Kung titingnan ninyo diyan sa Post Bangsamoro Basic Law, only 7 billion for the first year ang ibibigay. And then, for the next 5 years, 1 billion every 1 year. Ibig sabihin, 7 billion plus 5 billion is only 12 billion pesos.
Saan galing yung 75?
Ewan ko kung saan nanggaling. I don't know. I don't know kung saan nanggaling. So, this is what I would like to rectify. Even you are going to compute the revenue allotment of the 5 provinces, the budget for the existing farm, autonomous region, there's only something like 20 billion something more. Yun lang. So, yung sinasabi 75 billion, that is an imagination of some sectors in this country.
Kung isa buwan lang kalakaya, doon sa 75 kasi nanggagaling yun doon sa kabuuan ng koleksyon ng buwis, no? Sa kabuuan, ang 40% doon paghahatian ng lahat ng local government units. Kasama na yung mga LGUs sa ARMM. Doon sa matitirang 60% na para sa national government, doon kukuha ng 4% para sa BBL o Bangsamoro entity. Yun yung at least 75 billion pesos on the first year.
Are you saying that 40 out of the 100% revenue of the national government, 4% of that?
No. 4% of the 60% na para sa national government.
Yeah.
Yun mapupunta sa Bangsamoro.
Ibig sabihin, 100% of the 60% from the Bangsamoro remitted to the national government, only 4%. Maliit masyado yun Kasi wala naman kami masyadong malaking remittance dito sa national government.
Hindi, yung kabuuan na kolekta buong Pilipinas, no? 60-40. Ang 60-40 national government, ang 40% lahat ng mga LGUs kasama na ang nasa ARMM. Ngayon, doon sa 60% ng government, tatapyas pa doon ng 4%, additional yun.
Yun ang ibig kong sabihin. Ibigay mo yung 4% na yun, hindi aabot 75 billion pesos. Ano na naman Ang laki naman. We have all the, unfortunately, it's not in my position right now. I can tell you how much, but not 75 billion. Yun ang maliit impression sa buong bansa.
Ito muna kapatid natin.
Sir, Gregor from IBC TV.
IBC 13.
To ask Director James, sir, can we have an update regarding sa failure to build yung additional tickets machines that you will release?
Hindi pa naglalabas ng decision ng bank. So right now, opening ng bids para sa transmission. So hindi pa rin tapos yun. So far wala pa.
Sir, with regards to sa smart panel,
yes, they have. They've submitted their respective motions. Or if not, they've waived it. Kasi ang deadline natin is last Saturday. But again, the back is hearing these motions.
Sir, meron po nagsasabi na parang sa Congress na bakit kailangan i-declare as failure. Yung isa lang naman yung irresponsive sa kailangan requirement.
Pareho silang non-responsive. Hindi lang isa. And I think we clarified that since February 25, which was the date the bidding was declared a failure. And we've been saying ever since, every opportunity we got, we've explained kung bakit non-responsive pareho. Mali po yung pananaw na isa lang ang non-responsive.
So sir, can we really tell na ito hindi pa rin makapekto sa overall timeline for preparing sa...
As we've said over and over again, hindi po ito makaka-apekto sa election day natin. Yung election day natin ay hindi uurong. it would be wrong to say na hindi maapektuhan yung ating preparation timelines. Because obviously, kung nakaset yung timelines mo sa award ng February 25 at hindi nangyari yung award, obviously, uurong ka talaga, no? But hindi ibig sabihin nun na maapektuhan yung araw ng halalan. Ang maapektuhan yung timeline. And the timeline is flexible enough at this point that it can accommodate that sort of event.
So with regards to our biometrics, can we have an update din po? Kasi October po mag-end na po.
Oo, mag-end na siya ng October. Nung May 2014, we had 9.6 million individuals na wala pong biometrics, hindi sila makakaboto. Sa ngayon, nasa 4.7 million na lang yan. So, marami na yung biometrics natin. Bagaman, marami na na, meron pa rin 4.7 million na wala kang biometrics. Gusto lang na namin paalala na kung wala kayong biometrics, hindi kayo makakaboto.
So, last time, sir, as of now, hindi po natin i-consider pagbibigay ng exemption for biometrics.
Walang exemption.
Bago si Jim, si Pastor Mara, kaya pa. Pastor.
Hey, Director, Director, nagtungo po ako sa Lawigan ng Bulacan sa Malolos. Natong saan po ay walang mga sanggapan doon. At ang balita po noon, dahil inaasikas yata ng gobernador ng Bulacan, ang kanyang recall. Ano po ito na sa recall ng gobernador ng Bulacan?
Ang pagkakaalam ko, ang latest dyan, may itinalaga tayong bagong provincial election supervisor. So, he'll take office now. Alam ko kasi yung recall na yun, nasa stage siya ng publication. At saka, only later on, I think by next week, magsisimula na po yung verification process. So, yun yung verifikahin yung mga firma yung sa petition.
Yes, kaya Jim Luzon from DWI.
Yung adjustment ng approval ng BBM, medyo may titigil. Kaya pa ba mag-pump yung population kaya nyo pa kabulin yung delay ng BBM?
Mahirap sagutin yan, Jim, kasi wala pa rin talagang date na binibigay for when it will actually happen. Lahat kami nakadepende doon sa date na yun kung kailan matatapos ito. And it's only at that point na masasabi natin kung may panahon pa o hindi. Ayaw namin magamit na leverage dito sa usaping ito. It will proceed as long as it needs to proceed, I guess. Sila ang mag-decide kung ano yung timetable dito. Ang sa amin, papasok kami kapag nabigay na yung, kapag may araw na set na eto, tapos na yung BBL. And then we will talk about setting the plebiscite.
Magkano na nga po yung funding for the plebiscite?
Hindi namin alam, sir, kasi ilalagay yun dun sa batas na mag-a-approve ng BBL.
Pero kakayain nyo?
Wala po sa amin yun. Again, wala po sa amin yun, Jay. Sa Congress.
Sige kung sir, yung sabi nyo kanina may commitment yung MILF na papayag naman sila on certain amendments ng BBL. Ano yung particular na provisions na papayagan ng ma-amend sa BBL? Pwede mo mabanggit.
As far as I'm concerned, no, because I was always present during the proceeding in our final scrutiny. So far, there are probably PO provision that contradict the Constitution according to Chairman Professor Lindis. Number one, Commission on Audit. Definitely, the Bangsamoro cannot have separate Commission on Audit from the Commission on Audit National Government. Commission on Election, hindi pwede magkaroon ng Commission on Election na sarili ang Bangsamoro. Commission on Human Rights, Civil Service Commission, yung lang, so far this is the only major provision na contradict the Constitution. But ang ginagawa namin dyan, there is no prohibition for the Comelec Central Government to establish regional office in the Bangsamoro region to make sure that the national Comelec will have the power to implement all election rules and regulations. Same thing with the Commission on Audit. Hindi naman pwede walang Commission on Audit doon sa Bangsamoro because they are handling public funds. So, auditing system is very, very important so that to make sure that all budgetary expenditure will be paid according to auditing and accounting procedure. So, civil service, for example, mayroon naman doon ngayon. So, except what is prohibited by the law, if you are going to establish independent separate from the national government. Palagay ko, maiintindihan naman ito ng Bangsamoro, because we are talking here not issue within the country. We are talking only of autonomous region in Mindanao, in Bangsamoro, under the supervision of the office of the President.
Kasi dito sa tatlo, yun yung MILF dito, payas lang yan. Pero paano po yung their own police force, their own forces?
The police force never the national government will allow the Bangsamoro to have separate police force than the national police. Naintindihan nila yan, alam nila yan, hindi pwede. Except, pag nailagay na doon, yung regional office, pwedeng tawagin Bangsamoro Police Force. But definitely that will be under the complete control and supervision of the regional.
Sir, sino po particular sa MILF? Sino po particular sa MILF nagsabi na payag sila sa mga major amendments nila? Sino po?
Alam mo, minsan, usap-usap din kami because we are now free to talk to each other. Usap-usap kami ni Iqbal, sila, yung mga some personalities of the Bangsamoro Sanitation Branch. Sabi nila, so long it is for the good of the Bangsamoro Distrito, papayag kami. Now, if I'm going to introduce certain amendment that conform with the amendment, conform with the constitution, that is for improvement. So, patay ko, there is no problem with that.
So, yung mga major items na alleged unconstitutional, papayagan nila na
hindi na sa usapan niya. That is why our position here, after the final scrutiny, the panel government, the panel of the Bangsamoro, together with Congress, we will sit down and discuss properly. So, pwede pa usapan niyo, sir? Pwede pa usapan.
It's a big change.
Chairman Mike.
Ako kay Director. Kasi malapit na election na, national mo naman yung presidential. Well, yung bang kawalan ng chairman at dalawang commissioner, paano nyo pinaghahandaan yung election?
Hindi naman apektado yung COMELEC, no? In the sense na meron naman kami quorum, apat sila eh. No? Ang pressure lang, syempre, dun sa apat na huwag mag-absent. Diba? Kasi pag nag-absent, di wala ng quorum. But other than that, hindi naman po malaking inconvenience sa COMELEC. We expect, kaya naman wala pa dahil nating session para Congress. So at this point, hindi namin makukonsider na late or matagal kasi historically, hindi naman nag-appoint habang nakasession ng Congress. So since mag-re-recess na yung Congress in I think next week, no? Doon kami magsisimulang magbilang ng araw, no? Kung bakit wala pang chairman. But at this point, this is still within the interregnum of the chairman.
Ano bang gusto ng ninyo sa COMELEC? Insider or outsider?
Basta sir, naiintindihan yung trabaho namin at kayang sabayan yung demands ng election administration.
Okay, may question na ako. Kanina ko pa nire-reserve to, hindi sa inyo. May Congressman Loo, regarding the Sultanate of Sulu on the claim of North Borneo, Chisama. Commissioner naman, transfer nyo kasi yung isang Director, transfer nyo kasi yung source code ng election of 2010 and 2013. Ngayon, yung mga stakeholders, kasi nilagay nyo sa sequence sa isang lugar pwedeng makakuha ng kopya to determine the credibility of those past elections. Yun na po, isa sa inyo. Sino muna? Si Director muna.
Sir, yung sa source code, just to clarify, no? Imagine natin na ganito kalaki yung kwarto kung saan nakalagay yung source code dun sa central bank. Ito yung vault. Ganyan kalaki yung kwarto, ganyan kaliit yung vault, no? Kasi yung laman ng vault na yun yung source code lang natin, na ilang CD lang yun. So, ang nangyari lang, nung nakaraan, nung sinabi namin, ginalaw namin yung lalagyan ng source code, itong safe, itong vault, na nasa loob ng kwarto, inurong lang ng ganyan. Tapos itong kwartong to, sabi ng Central Bank, lalagyan nila ng additional partitions. So basically, wala naman talagang nagalaw doon sa source code. Pangalawa, yung source code, pwede bang kunin yung nasa loob ng vault? Hindi po pwede. Naka-escrow po yun. Meron na po tayong pinagbigyan, binigyan natin ng opportunity. Maraming beses na ma-review yung source code both internationally and locally. So, at this point, yung source code na nakalagay doon sa Central Bank, hindi po pwede mailabas yun unless it's I believe under court order. With regard to reviewing that code, again, we remind everyone na meron tayong source code naman pa dito sa bagong halalan. Let's look at that also. Pero yung mga nakaraan, nabigyan na ng opportunity, and unfortunately for the people who are still asking for the source code, they never came. No? Hindi sila pumunta, binigyan sila pagkakataon, hindi sila nagpunta. Ngayon, even then, hindi natin sila pinapayagang kumuha ng kopya ng source code. That has always been non-negotiable. Hindi sila pwedeng kumopya ng source code. Hindi sila pwedeng mag-save sa source code sa kahit anong device nila. Kung gusto nila i-review nila in the Comelec premises under Comelec regulation.
Kay Congressman regarding doon sa claim ng Sultanate of Sulu sa...
Kasi nagbibidding po kami sa Intramuros ngayon para naman doon sa transmission, so medyo kakailangan ito.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Director James Jimenez. Kay Congressman Lao regarding doon sa problema ng Sultanate of Sulu sa over North Borneo or Bali.
Alam mo, mahabang istorya ito, no?
Would it affect mga pasay?
To me, it will not, because this representation also proposed for inclusion of the Sultanate. But there are three Sultanate. Sulu Sultanate, Maguindanao Sultanate, and there is the so-called Council of Elders. So I propose that the Council of Elders to accommodate the three Sultanate, one to Sulu, one to Mindanao, and one to Ghana, so that the Sultanate will not be found. Now, as far as the claim of the Sulu Sultanate over North Borneo, this is according to our historical perspective. We cannot change history. So therefore, that claim will remain. So long this will not be addressed properly, this claim will remain because historically North Borneo belong to the Sultanate.
BBL have already resolved it, and the BBL.
We cannot include this in the BBL. It will become more complicated because we are trying to avoid the diplomatic discussion between the Republic of the Philippines and Malaysia. Because Sultanate never part of this BBL. But that Sultanate claim of the North Borneo will remain because this is part of our Philippine history. But I think you and me, as Filipinos, that North Borneo historically belongs to all of us. Therefore, we have to make that skip for the meantime, but let us first for this Bangsamoro comment.
Kung sa pang-hard question, I'm sorry, pero kailangan din na malaman natin ito eh. Balitang-balita na kaya mahihirap ang karamihan dyan sa ARMM kasi yung pondo para sa proyekto na dapat pakinabangan ng mga mamamayan nakukurakot. Ang tanong, sino po kumukurakot? National government o yung mga local officials sa ARMM?
When you speak of kurakot, that kurakot is everywhere in the whole country.
I agree, 101%. But let's talk about ARMM particularly. First, in particular.
Alam naman natin, ako naman, I am not an executive, I am here member of Congress. Now ngayon, hindi naman lahat na kukurakot. Meron naman tayong nagagawa. Like for example, now, when I was member of Congress, meron na rin tayong nailagay dyan mga kapuhayan. Right now, we are implementing sewage farming position in the whole coastal line of the first district of Jolo. But I'm not the one implemented. It's the Bureau of Fisheries and the DSWD. And the source of funds came from DSWD. Now, ngayon, talking of kurakot, I cannot say 100% walang kurakot because everywhere in the whole country. Nangyayari yan. Napakarami na tayo nailagay sa bilangan ng
Okay, so sabi niyo kung hindi kayo sigurado kung 100% wala. Ilang porsyento sa palagay niyo, sa pag-aaral niyo, sa pagkakalam ninyo, ang napunta sa kurakot, sa pondo para sa ARMM?
Alam mo, I'm not now dito.
Okay, punta na tayo sa BBL Kong. Pag sa BBL ba may mga particular o specific provision doon specifically to end corruption should Bangsamoro come into reality?
That's one of the main intentions of the Bangsamoro people to have their own private auditing mechanism.
Very good.
Because they want to prevent that. The reason why there is rebellion because we want to put all records straight.
Yes.
We want our people will enjoy the benefit of development. That is the main intention of this rebellion.
Are you saying then na ang COA national ay inutil doon sa ARMM kaya gusto nyo sa inyo na mismo ang COA?
I'm not saying that because what the Bangsamoro plan for the man because if they can sacrifice their plans in the interest of their own people, I think they can sacrifice everything, including corruption, in the interest of their own people because they are using their lives as capital investment in order to have this new political.
Pag hindi pumasas ang constitutionality ng isang parliamentary form of governance in Bangsamoro, okay na ba sa inyo yan?
Hindi pa naman natin pwedeng mabigyan ng interpretation ngayon because unless this will be submitted to the Supreme Court, if somebody is interested to pursue that. I am not in a position to give comment on that because we are not the one interpreting the law.
Isa na lang, isa maiksi na lang. Ayon doon sa BBL mismo, 40% ng total representatives na representation sa parliament lang ang direktang iboboto ng tao, ng mga constituent doon. Ang majority doon sa 40%, ang siya magtatalaga ng another 50 representative. The rest, yung mga appointees na. Now, sa tingin nyo kaya hindi ito undemocratic? Remember, demokrasya umiiral sa atin and that is electing directly our leaders. Doon sa kaso ng parliamentary form sa BBL, ganun na mo lumalabas. Ito papasahin ang pagtanukala doon.
Well, there are two kinds of democratic system in Congo. Presidential system and parliamentary system. This is the so-called democratic parliamentary system of government because the representative of the parliament is to be elected by the people, but under the parliamentary system, the parliament will elect among themselves as to who should be the head of the executive branch of government, particularly the chief minister of the Bangsamoro.
Yes, kami.
Kong, assalamualaikum. My question is based on your recommendation. You have a very sound recommendation that the MNLF be included, and that is a substantial change in the BBL. What will be your stand, being a former MNLF commander, if that proposal is not included in the BBL? Will you still support BBL?
Well, as far as I'm concerned in the committee, there is no reason for the committee and the House of Representatives to reject that proposal. Because our intention is to bring all these people together.
Yeah.
Now, if we will ask them unite, they will not. But our discretionary power as member of Congress in the enactment of this Bangsamoro Basic Law, we can bring them together. Why? Because we consulted them. We have done 36 consultations from Tawi-Tawi, Sulong, Basilan, Mindanao, all over the country. So, we asked them to submit position paper, and the MNLF submitted their position paper. So, my basis for the introduction of amendment that MNLF should be part of the transitory authority is based on the position. So, since we get all these positions prepared from them, that will be an input for us also to be incorporated in the proposed amendment to the Bangsamoro Basic Law. So, sa tingin ko, there will be no member of Congress who will object to that. So, I'm certain that will be approved.
But do you realize, Kong, that that is a substantial change to the BBL? Because the BBL only recognizes MILF.
The thing is, we are also trying to have a back channeling. We are also trying to talk to the MILF. Talk to the MILF.
What is the reaction to that, Kong?
Positive.
Positive. Okay.
So, ibig sabihin, there is a high hope, civility in the approval of the Bangsamoro Basic Law is highly feasible.
Kung sino po yung kinausap niyo sa MILF na sabi mo?
Along that line.
Well, sila Iqbal.
Iqbal.
Sila Iqbal. Because I did this in accordance with their declared principle. Inclusivity. They want inclusive. So if they will disregard MNLF, meaning they are exclusive. So ngayon, on the basis of their principle, policy, and principle, talagang tatanggapin nila ito.
Inclusive means lahat sila.
Lahat sila.
Central Committee po sa
Parting words, Kong, dahil medyo kapasa tayo sa oras.
So, ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa inyo sa pagbibida sa akin. At least may pagkakataon as representative of the Bangsamoro people, gusto ko lang may paalam sa lahat ng mga nakikinig at nanonood na dapat intindihin naman ang aming problema, Bangsamoro problem, lahat ng aming mga kapatid na non-Muslim. Lalo na yung mga members of the House of Representatives from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, in the interest of peace, I think there is no better alternative except to let this BBL pass as amended or finally scrutinized by Congress and the Senate. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Doon sa mga pag-interview dito lang, mga ladies and gentlemen, maraming salamat sa araw nito sa Social Patriots. Kita-kita ulit tayo dito sa
ako naman, sa aking party shop, I am pro-peace, pro-Muslim. That is why I am anti-BBL.